So we've got Phil Thompson with us to talk to us about this. Phil, obviously football is slightly overshadowed by what's going on around Europe with the coronavirus. What's your gut instinct about what might happen in English football over the coming weeks?
Well, I feel extremely sorry that the things that are happening in Italy are quite excessive, and it's hard to judge ourselves sort of where they are at the moment. Hopefully we don't get as bad as what it is, and it must be really worrying out there. I don't think we are in that position at the moment, but we just have to go with the authorities and what they have to do. And I know there's managers saying that the game shouldn't take place without fans because it's imperative. That's what the game is about. I can go with a lot of ways with it, but you have to feel. At the moment, you can see, I don't know, we've had 6 deaths. My goodness, Italy has been far in excess of that, and it's quite frightening. So it would be worrying. I'm listening there to the scenarios, what it could end up with.
Okay, Phil just the line is gone on us there. So right, we'll come back. I'll come back to Phil in just a minute. In the meantime, obviously, we've been talking about what might actually happen with the Liverpool front three over the off-season. There's this kind of sense that maybe this is the end for this Liverpool front three, that there's been certainly very strong links with Liverpool and other strikers around Europe. Jadon Sancho's been mentioned, Timo Werner's been mentioned, but who would they be replacing? Kenny Cunningham has a theory. Have a look.
Great managers, for me, are always a step ahead of the game, and Klopp is closer to those players than we are in terms of the dressing room environment, dealing with those players on 1v1 basis. And if he gets a bit of a sense of, just gets an inkling that I just need to change something here, not that there's been a massive drop-off in performance of any one of those players, but I do notice with Salah, last number of games I've watched him play, even at Anfield, you just get a bit of a sense of something coming from the crowd when he's on he makes that, misplaces a pass, he's a little bit sloppy, he doesn't pick the right option, a little bit selfish. But I think sometimes as a manager, you've got to make a statement. You've got to throw a grenade into the dressing room, or you've got to preempt it, even before those players start getting a little bit kind of, cavalier in their attitude, maybe their focus. The best managers get a sense, just as sneaking, I've got it, and then they make a decision, a bold decision. And for me, there's an egg for the summer. It wouldn't surprise me if we're like, whoa, Sancho's in, Salah's out.
All right, we've got Phil Thompson re-established there. Phil, we'll park the virus talk for a while. We may as well, because everybody's talking about it all the time. Let's talk a bit about football. Kenny Cunningham there talking about perhaps Klopp might be looking at changing things up in the summer. Not saying that it's the right thing to do, but just that this is the type of thing, that a bit of left field thinking that you can see from a manager like Jurgen Klopp, and that if that was to happen, that of the front three, in a weird way, the most replaceable one is actually Salah, as opposed to Sané in particular, or Bobby Firmino. What's your take on what might happen with this front three in the summer?
I would like to think you have to be ready. Being on the sort of management side, as I was with Gerard Houllier, you have to be ready for every eventuality. You have to even start to preempt things. You're very, very happy with what you've got. The age of if it is the 3 guys, but it's not even just the 3 guys, you have to be ready for every scenario. So you have to be looking out there for players. You could say certain players haven't been at their best this year, but we've been good enough. And I think it's just times that we have been better than most teams. And maybe it's complacency more than anything. But if it was 3 strikers, you see, the strikers are the ones which are always, and I would like to think you should always want to be at Liverpool, and Liverpool is the greatest team in the world. It happens, and we've seen it with Suarez, we've seen it with Coutinho. These things, they can turn players' heads, and it's normally the playmakers, the goal scorers, and I think that comes down to those 3 lads. And I would think Klopp would. He's not daft. He's very, very clever. He'll be looking at, and he'll be sniffing out sort of replacements for any of them. And I know there's Timo Werner, who has been on the lips of a lot of people. Yes, he'd be one, but there would be others. Sancho brings the same thing. He would bring pace out wide if that happened. But there is different permutations, even in midfield where we're blessed with a lot of players. But I still think he'd be looking for maybe that one that we had with Coutinho, that sort of player.
Yeah.
And even defensively, you have to be ready.
Yeah, and look, that's just preparedness. In terms of being ready, they're obviously ready tonight for the play acting and trick acting that they're going to get from Atletico.
Too right.
You can say you're ready for it, Phil, but then when somebody's doing whatever it is that they're doing to get under your skin and they're so practiced at it, it's very hard not to react.
No, people have said to me they didn't want that. You know, that referee was hopeless and absolutely scandalous in Madrid. I wish he was there tonight because he would be swayed, and he was swayed by the crowd. And this is what Liverpool. I don't often say that you should try to sort of take gamesmanship to the limit. This is one of those nights, and those players in that dressing room. If that happens, as we did in the second leg against Barcelona, not just scoring the goals, but being ready to take it to them. And these are what happened in Madrid. Yes, they're the best at it, and they feign injury and they do everything. We have to be ready to do similar things. The crowd have to be ready to react, and I think that is the big thing. I think everybody is up for this game tonight, as much as it was the Barcelona game, for different reasons. And that is that's what makes football great. You don't know what is going to happen. You have to be ready for it. You have to be ready to react. It will be tough. It will be hard. But I think this team is quite easily. We haven't been up for a game like this for a long time, not since the Leicester game probably away. And we will perform.
All right. Phil, great to have you with us this morning. Thanks very much.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Bye.